Hey everyone, Mousetrap Mark II is a project I'm busy with right now. Those mice in the garage have got to go. So the first attempt was with plastic with a hole in the middle. We caught one until Ellie destroyed the trap, so we're going to do a swiveling trap. It'll make sense as I carry on. So what I've done here is I've just drilled a hole into the side of the bucket and got a piece of metal rod and slotted it in on either side. So that's going to act as the hinge for the flap. Got this thin piece of ply offcut, which is what I'm going to use to make the hinging flap. Now I want to get a rough idea of the internal measurements. The widest is just over 43, call it 43.5 centimeters. Okay, so I don't have a compass big enough. Well, should I say I don't know where a compass is that I have that's big enough. So we'll just sort one out ourselves. Now I've decided that it's got to be 42 wide, so that means it's got to be 21 diameter, circumference, whatever is half. So 21 and 21 makes 42. Take a little nail. Oh, hang on. Perfect. Good enough. And there you have it. So I'll just cut that out. I was going to do the jigsaw, but I'll just use a bandsaw, might be easier. The bandsaw gives a much nicer cut than the jigsaw could have. So after finishing the cut on the bandsaw, I didn't bother sanding it off because I needed to put it on the bucket and start making marks where I had to cut some of the wood away so it could actually flap down without getting caught on the sides of the buckets. So a quick cut on the bandsaw, a few more marks on the sides to make sure it could flap down, and I was almost there. Okay, so I better cut this out the side because the bucket does that. So if I kept it the same size, it wouldn't be able to flap open. I'll show you now. Hopefully this works. That should be enough. I don't think they're going to be able to stay on there. So next thing I got to do is put a little piece of wood over here so that when the trap's in this flat position it doesn't flap over that way, just a stop. That's the next thing to do. And make sure I don't drill a screw into my finger again like last week. Ah! The bloody driver's down in the pass. Going to use good old duct tape. Should work. Easy. Okay, now obviously we're going to need to counterweight this. Okay, so I figure mouse will get to about here. The magnet that I've got that'll be holding this thing will eventually let go. These will be hanging down below as a counterweight. So when the mouse falls off, pulls it back and resets the trap. That's the plan. Okay, so this is what I've come up with. Mouse gets to here, the weight, more leverage, the further out he gets, hopefully that means he can't crawl back up. I think I've got it just about, all depends how heavy the mouse is, I guess. If he gets to about here, so I just hung 3 heavy screws from pieces of string through a hole, knotted at the top. I don't even know if I need a magnet. I think that might just complicate it. Sniff, 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 sniff. Whoa, boom. Now we just use a hot glue gun. And glue a couple of cat pellets on here. Not too close to each other because I could use them like handles in a climbing wall to get back out. Well, who knows? We'll put a CCTV camera on it and see what happens. Should be interesting. Oh, idiot. These cats we've got are bloody useless. The dog has caught more mice than the cats put together. I think we feed them too well. We'll leave that to harden. That should work. I'll just add a bit of chicken feed over here to entice them. Once they see the pellets, they'll make a beeline for them because they do like the pellets. I think that's going to work. Okay, so that's the setup. Mice will come. Bring, 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 bring. Food. And away they go. And ready for the next one. Let's see if that works. A little bit of extra chicken feed. It would appear we have our first customer for the new mousetrap. I haven't even had a chance to set up the recording on the CCTV camera. Let's go and see. I think we have a customer. There the little shit is. Hey, there's a couple of them. Result. We'll see how many more we get in the morning. You'll have to please excuse the footage. I hadn't even had a chance to set up the DVR before these mice descended on the trap en masse. By the time I managed to see the footage, I was convinced that I'd somehow messed up the balancing of the weights, because that was happening. Unbeknownst to me, before I started watching the footage, a couple of mice had already been trapped in there. They can't jump high enough to get out the bucket. They very soon figured out that if they hung on the counterweight balances at the back of the bucket, when the next mouse came along, they could climb up the counterweight, and when the flap fell down, they could hop out the back. Took a while to figure out. Also, the fact that I had quite a few glasses of wine by this stage, it didn't help at all. I know how to fix it. and next time I build that trap it'll be much more efficient. Okay, I'm on a bit of a mission. I've had a few glasses of wine, so forgive me. Version 1 of the mousetrap, while it has promise, it's not dropping fast enough to let the little mice, the little buggers, fall into the bucket. I'm going to have to give that one a bit more thought, but I'm going to go back to one I tried before that seemed to work, caught one mouse, but Ellie destroyed it before I could get to it in time and killed the mouse. So we're going back to a plastic lid with a couple of slits in the middle, and when the mice get to it, they fall through the hole. Let's see what happens. Okay, so just like I did it before, a bit of plastic, a bit of rope with a loop on it. We'll pull the rope tight and then pull the plastic tight afterwards. Oh, whoops. As I said, I've had a few glasses of wine. It should be alright. So if I do glasses, did I say I've had a few glasses of wine? Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so we put a slit over here. I don't know. Is that gonna work? Can you see that? Now what's going to make them want to go in the bottom? If I throw a whole lot of feed in the bottom and a little bit around, I don't know. Let's go check it out. Okay, I'm in it for the long haul tonight. I'm going to catch lots of mice. If I don't, I'll be very disappointed. So I've glued some more cat pellets on a little bit further down. I've started cable tying the bolts on because I found what happens is the mice have been jumping on, hang on a second, the mice have been jumping onto the bolts that are hanging down, and then as some mice fall in, they jump off the bolts out the hole here. And they chew through the one piece of string holding one of the bolts, so I'm going to get the balance right now. Okay, so I've messed around with the weights on that one. I think we might be close. And I've put another type of trap in here. I'm just worried I might have made the slits in there a little bit too small, but let's see what happens. Morning. We're back in the shed. Mousetrap iteration number 3. The first one was showing promise early. I think we had about 4 of them in there within the first hour. These mice aren't stupid. They soon figured out how to A, defeat the trap, and B, how to escape from inside. Okay, so I've taken an old broomstick, cut it to length, mark the center. I'm going to drill it and push some metal rods in to act as the hinge or the bearing, whatever you want to call it. All the way through. Done. So I'm just going to drill a hole basically in the middle there like that. Same on the other side. There we go. Right, let's see if I'm going to be able to make this work. So I'm just going to use a hot melt glue gun, stick a few cat pellets on the middle. Yeah, they seem to like those. I'm a bit worried this is not going to... Nah, maybe. There's only one way to find out. Let's get it in there and try it out. So that's the new setup. There's still 5 of the little buggers in here. I don't know if you can see. No, maybe not. Show you later. As a result of the DVR hard drive deciding this was the time to freak out and die, we missed being able to record using the DVR. So we had to resort to filming the iPad. So far, I think the plastic covered bucket works the best. Caught the most mice, but I need to do a side-by-side comparison the next infestation we get with all the 3 different types of traps out at the same time. Mandy was quite impressed with this little mouse's agility, the way it flattened itself out to prevent falling into the hole until it fell into the hole. Morning, it's the next day. We're going to go and have a look, see how many new customers we've got for the rolling wood trap. 3 in there. Okay, let's check the other one. So far, this trap seems to be working the best. I think there's 7 in there now. Alrighty, so that's 2 extra in the rolling trap, and I think only 1 extra in the plastic trap. So we got 10 in total. We're going to take them for a little drive and set them free in the countryside, where they bloody well belong. So that's the first haul, 10 mice, heading off to their forever home now. Yeah, hi, excited to go. Off you go. I'll leave them a pile of food over here. There you go. Gone. So the eviction notice was served. Those that refused to leave were forcibly removed yesterday. A little bit disappointed because there was no activity last night at all. Not a single mouse, nothing on CCTV. So it looks like we got them all. As I said, disappointed. I was actually enjoying myself catching all these little buggers. Now, I was in earlier, that's why there's no bait on the top. I pushed it all in to see if there was anything in the bottom, but empty. And despite adding peanut butter onto here, which these mice cannot resist, absolutely nothing. So, result for now. I've got a few ideas for revisions to the various mouse traps. So I'm going to start building my next trapdoor trap in preparation for the next invasion. I'm sure they'll be back. This trap showed really promising results in the beginning. Just needs a bit of refinement, I think. And I know why. I know how to fix it. I hope you enjoyed that. I had fun doing it. And maybe we'll get onto a new version of a mouse trap in the future if required. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.